back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, we are going to be doing my July wrap up. And as you guys know, in my wrap up, I do books, movies, and music. And when I tell you I had a really good month, like with the books, y'all, I went in with the books, okay? I think I read 8 books this month, which is huge for me. Huge. Okay. So let's just get started. All right, let's talk about the books. So the first book I read in the month of July was Daughter by Asha Bandel. Now, this is my first time reading this author, and this book, because of the subject matter, I thought it was going to be extremely difficult to read, but it actually wasn't. So it's dealing with a young girl named Aya. Aya is 19 years old, and she has been murdered by the police because it's a misidentification situation, and they think she's a black male. But while her mother is in the hospital with her, her mother Miriam is reflecting on her life, before she got pregnant and everything. And when I tell you, girl, she was a little innocent little thing, got in cahoots with old boy, but the way that it ended, I was outdone. Okay. It's a twist. It's a huge twist. And it's kind of like, girl, seriously? Next is an anticipated read for this year for me, and it was Night Bloom by Pete Oduzo-Mindi. And I did a reading vlog on this book because, y'all, this was fantastic. She is an automatic buy. She wrote His Only Wife. As you can see, it is displayed back there because I love that book. And I love the fact that her stories are the same. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's the same character in different settings. No. You guys know how much I love African literature. Like, girl, they can just tell some stories. Like I said, I did a reading blog on this, so watch the reading blog. Next is another anticipated read for this year for me, and that was What a Desi Girl Wants by Sabina Khan. Sabina Khan is a YA author. She also is Indian, and I've read all her books, and they just don't disappoint. Okay, this is about a young girl named Mahar. She is 17 years old. She's estranged from her father, and her father is getting married. He lives in India, and she lives in the United States with her mother. And she decides, I guess I'm gonna go. But it looks like her soon-to-be stepmother and her soon-to-be step sister is out for like her dad's money and title, because he's like almost like royalty. And although this is a YA, novel, there is some really serious aspects. There's sometimes I forget with all her writings that it is, the genre is YA, and that YA is not really a genre that I gravitate towards, but for some reason with her, she just does it. Next is August Town by Kai Miller. Now this is our book club pick for July, and we will be discussing it this Sunday. So excited because I have some thoughts on this book. This is a Caribbean author, and this also was the first time that I ever read from him. Next is Uncle Tom's Children by Richard Wright. Now, this was his debut novel, and this came out in 1938. They are novellas, and if I'm going to be honest with y'all, I think this is my last time I'm reading Richard Wright. Although, okay, his writing, fantastic. He knows how to craft those sentences, and his sentence structure is unbelievable. He just knows how to do that. But he can be kind of wordy, which can come off as a bore. And if I'm being honest, y'all, it was kind of like, oh boy, please hurry up. Okay, I would say I liked maybe one story from this set of novellas, and it was Long Black Song. You have a young woman that her husband is picking cotton, and a white man comes to her house to like sell like a record player or something, and something happened, and the husband come back and all hell break loose. Okay, yeah, this a one and done. Next is Pearl Cleage, What Looks Like Crazy on an Ordinary Day. No, I did a reading blog on this also because I wanted to challenge myself and see if I can read a book in one day, and I succeeded in that challenge, and I will be doing it again. Actually did do it with August Town. So now it's like I'm working that muscle. This book, fantastic. I love how she depicts the stigma of HIV. You have a woman named Ava Johnson, that has been diagnosed with HIV, and she's trying to navigate her life, her personal life mainly. Y'all, please pick this up. Please, please, please pick this up and read it. Next is All the Lonely People by Mike Gill. I also did a reading vlog on this and was pleasantly surprised, y'all. This twist, unbelievable. He did this book, y'all. The fact that Hubert, first of all, I love him. And he was lying to his daughter about that little fast life he had and wasn't doing none of that, okay? And I just was outdone. Oh, I was outdone. If y'all have read this twist was, like I said, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then I read We Were the Mulvaneys by Joyce Carol Oates. Y'all, I've had this on my TBR for the past 3 years, and I said, Alexis, you have to read it this year. And you know what? I like what was kind of disappointed. Now, this is about a family, the Mulvaneys. They live in upstate New York. They live on a farm, well-to-do family. They have 3 kids. They have 3 sons and a daughter. And something horrible happens on Valentine's Day to one of the children. And it affects the whole family for the rest of their life. Now, I already knew what the secret was because this was a Lifetime movie back in the day. And I saw the movie years ago. But I still wanted to read the book. She's another one, just like Richard Wright, where it was too wordy, where it almost was not almost, it was boring. It was some of the passages was so unnecessary. It's like, Joyce, if you don't hurry up and tell this story, I'm about to put it up real soon. What made me finish this is I was able to listen to it. I saw that it was on Audible, and I said, let me read it, because let me just listen to it, because this book is 454 pages, and if I would have just, I think, physically read this, I probably would have DNF'd it. Yeah, girl, it's not what I expected. And then lastly, I read a short story by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it was The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I did not know that that was a short story. I didn't even know that F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote short stories. And first of all, how do you even come up with a story like that? Like, how does your mind even come up with a story like that? That man was just genius, okay? And the fact that you had a baby that was a old man talking that looked like an old man, but like physically in the beginning was a baby. The fact that he ages backwards, like, how do you even come up with that? He, again, brilliant man. But that short story was really, really good. Okay, that's it for the books. Y'all see, I read a lot. Okay, a lot. Now, let's get into the movies. Now, let me get my notebook. So, I had a little Rose Byrne kick this month. Now, last month I had a Rachel McAdams kick. This month it was Rose. So the first movie I watched by her is called Instant Family, and that's starring her and Mark Wahlberg. That movie, it deals with a couple. They're thinking about adopting, and they go the foster parent route. And girl, they get 3 kids. They get a teenager and 2 young kids, and them kids get them together. But I love the fact that it's like a comedy, but also it's a drama, because it deals with the foster care system and how, like, the older children, teenagers, they get discarded. A lot of times people don't want them. They just want the kids, and they're just like throwaways, and the kids know that. It's horrible. And a lot of times in the foster care system, they're there because their parents are either on drugs. It's like sexual, physical, mental abuse, or some of them, they just discard them. And I know heavily about the foster care system because my grandmother was a foster parent for over 20 years, and I grew up with foster, children, living in my grandmother's house. And when I tell you, some of them kids, they had some major problems, but you understood why. And I had a grandmother that was very patient. She treated them with respect, but she also was stern, and they appreciated that, because when I tell you, they would come back to see Mama Dot. That's what my grandmother was called. They was coming back to see Mama Dot, okay? But again, I love the fact that they highlighted that subject. And then the next movie I watched was Neighbors. And girl, when I remember when that movie came out, I actually saw it in theaters with my sister. So funny. You have a young couple that they're married with a baby, and their new neighbors are a frat house. And them kids, girl, they drink, they party, they got loud music and everything. And the whole movie is them basically trying to come up with clever ways to get them out of the neighborhood. But when I tell you those kids get them together, they both get each other together. Okay, they do. But it's just hilarious seeing the back and forth with them. Such a good movie. And the last thing I watched with Rose Byrne is a show called Platonic on Apple TV, which also stars her and Seth Rogen. They have really good chemistry. This show, it's, I forgot Rose Byrne's character, but she is a mother of three. She used to be an attorney, and she's kind of like a bored housewife, kind of just like, she's lost in herself. You know, she's like, only thing I do is just drop off the kids and go grocery shopping and, you know, do scheduling and drop offs and all of that. And in comes her friend that she's known for years. They kind of like drift apart, but they come back together. And Seth Rogen's character, he's like a man child. He parties all the time, date young girls and everything, but he brings out like this adventure in her life and kind of brings out this new person in her, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I think it's like 8 or 9 episodes. So good. All right, so that was it for my Rose Byrne kick. Now the next movie I watched is, because I read The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, I wanted to watch the movie, which was the first time I saw it, and oh, so good. So good. I actually need to buy that. I want like it on DVD, okay? And Taraji was robbed from that Oscar. Absolutely robbed. She played Queenie, and the short story is way different than the movie. The only similarities is the fact that, you know, Benjamin he ages backwards or whatever. But I love the fact that they brought in Queenie, which is his mother, which is a black woman, and you know, if you know the movie, she couldn't have any children and she raised Benjamin, and that was the only mama that he knew. Such a great movie. I will be watching it again. And then next I watched Joy Luck Club, because that book is on my TBR and I'm in the process of reading it. And she wanted to read the book before I read it, but then I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. And so good. First time seeing it, we'll watch it again. And then the last movie that I watched actually was a documentary, and oh, I watched the documentary on what is it? Max or HBO. Donna Summer documentary. You guys, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. I was sleeping on that, okay? Because I knew it was gonna be kind of sad, obviously, because Donna's not here with us anymore. But girl, that woman was beyond a pioneer. Now, I've known obviously of Donna Summer. Donna Summer is a legend, but I just knew like a couple of her songs growing up. But when she passed in 2012, that's when I really started learning about her music and was buying every single thing. And y'all, I loved the fact that her daughter played a part in directing it, Brooklyn Sudano, and you heard from Donna herself. You heard from her other 2 daughters, her husband, her brother, her sisters. It just was fantastic. And she was such a, like I said, a pioneer. And a lot of the music that we know of Donna, she either co-wrote or wrote by herself. Such ahead of her time. And then that voice is unmatched. So, all right. So that's it for the movies and TV shows. Lastly, let's talk about the music. Now, y'all know I'm still on my vinyl kick. Been buying records ever since I got that record player back in April, and every month I'm buying records, all right? So, there's 3 artists that I listened to this month. Now, because I watched that documentary about Donna Summer, became obsessed with it the whole month of July. I mean, the whole month, y'all. And y'all know I had to get some records. So, first of all, the first record I'm so excited about and geeked, y'all, is Bad Girls. First of all, look, get into this cover. Get into this cover. Amazing. Okay. So, of course, I love the singles, Hot Stuff, Bad Girls, Dim All the Lights. And one song that's not a single that I like is My Baby Understands. Do you guys know that song? It's Neo featuring Jamie Foxx. She's got her own. they're sampling Donna Summer. And it was so funny when I was in here listening to it, it came on and I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. And why I started singing the lyrics to She's Got Her Own. And then I realized, oh, they sampled her. Yes, this album, fantastic. And then I got Live and More by Donna Summer. And this is a live album. And look, y'all. Isn't that neat? It's so pretty. So this has I Feel Love, Last Dance, MacArthur Park. What else? Love to Love You, Baby. Those are like the songs people know. Just beyond talented, okay? And then the last record that I got by her is I Remember Yesterday, because it has I Feel Love. And I also like the self-titled song I Remember Yesterday. So, of course, had to get it. So pretty. All right, so that's it for my Donna Summer. I think I do want to get one more of her album. I have to look some more, but I think I need one more and then I'll be set. But yeah. And then the next album that I listened to this month was Erykah Badu, Buddhism. Love this. First of all, love all the singles. Love On and On. What else? Other side of the game, Next Lifetime. I mean, come on now. Now I would say songs that are not singles that I really like is Four Leaf Clover, and I love the rim shot. I love the intro and the outro. Look at the actual vinyl, you guys. Look at the color. Isn't that pretty? Love it. And then the last album that I listened to this month is Jasmine Sullivan's Hotels. I love this album, you guys. I remember when this came out, I actually downloaded a lot of the songs from iTunes and bought them. And I was like, you know what? Since I really love the album, I said, let me get a physical copy of it. And y'all, just was up here jamming. So Pick Up Your Feelings, love it. Love Bodies, I love On It. Price Tags, I think those are like my favorite. I'm a fan of Jasmine Sullivan. I remember when Jasmine Sullivan came out, I was a fan of her, and I'm so glad she finally got her Grammys, because she really deserved it. But Jasmine, she's been on my prayer list, y'all. Her mom just passed like recently, like a week or two ago. She died of cancer, and her and her mom were like this, and they were really close. So she has been in my prayers, because Lord, I know what it feels like to lose a mama, okay? But y'all, please get into Hotels. This is so good. So, yeah, guys, that's it when it comes to my monthly wrap-up. As you can see, I read a lot of books this month, y'all. I mean, was on a kick. I'm trying to get that TBR down, and it is slowly coming down. And now that I know that I can read a book in a day, you ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing, okay? I'm gonna be pushing these books out even more. So lastly, I finally have a Amazon storefront. Everything now that I talk about, I will link in my storefront, and it will always be in the description box. Yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. I'll be back with more Black Books. Bye.